everyone! Welcome to Biology online class. Today we will study about adaptation and natural selection. Our learning objectives are identify an adaptation as a structural, behavioral, or physiological, and explain how an adaptation helps an organism survive in a particular environment. This is the concept map of the topic today. Have you ever wondered how animals are able to survive in the wild? Look at the picture. Animals have certain adaptations that help them to survive. Think about the way you dress in the winter. You don't wear your shorts and bathing suit when it's snowing outside. You wear warm clothes and maybe even a hat and mittens to protect yourself from the weather. And what do you do if you are seeing a mouse? You probably run away from the mouse. The way you dress in winter, as well as the way that you run and hide from a mouse at you, are kinds of adaptation. What is adaptation? Adaptation is the process which enables organisms to adjust to their environments in order to ensure survival. Can you tell the difference between the three types of adaptation? Let's find the answer from the explanation. There are two subtopics of adaptation: animal adaptation and plant adaptation. Now, we will start with animal adaptation. There are three types of animal adaptation. The first is structural adaptation. Structural adaptations involve some part of animal's body. For example, the kinds of teeth, body coverings, and shape of body part. Look at the picture for example. There are some examples of structural adaptation. The kinds of the insect mouth, variation of the bird's beaks, variations in beaks and feet of some birds based on their food and their activities. Another example of the structural adaptation is elephant's trunk. It can help elephants to clean itself, eat, drink, and to pick the things up. Can you mention another structural adaptation of elephants? Next example of structural adaptation is protective coloration. Another word for this adaptation might be camouflage. Their camouflage makes it hard for predators to single out prey or the other way around. Mimicry allows one animal to look, sound, or act like another animal to fool predators into thinking it is poisonous or dangerous. The example of mimicry: the fisher butterfly uses mimicry to look like the monarch's butterfly. Can you tell them apart? Now, let's learn about behavioral adaptation. Behavioral adaptations allow animals to respond to life needs. Behavioral adaptations are animal actions. Remember, that structural adaptations are body structures. Each organism has unique methods of adapting to its environments by means of different actions. We can divide behavioral adaptations into two groups: instinct behaviors and learned behaviors. What's the difference? Let's find the answer. Instinct behaviors happen naturally and don't need to be learned. For example, finding shelter, methods of gathering and storing food, defending oneself, raising young, hibernating, migrating, and etc. There are some examples of behavioral adaptations. The second type of behavioral adaptation is learned behavior. It is obtained by interacting with the environment and cannot be passed on to the next generation, except by teaching. The last type of animal adaptations is physiological adaptations. Physiological adaptations are features of the organism's internal physiology that help to survive in its environment. Think one example in an animal and one example in a plant and write it down in your book. The example of physiological adaptations are the thickening of fur in winter, the seeking of shade in heat, and the production of more red blood cells at high altitude. This condition is called homeostasis. Physiological adaptations in freshwater fish are drink little and excrete lot of dilute urine, while adaptations in saltwater fish are drink a lot and excrete concentrated urine. This is the end of our lesson. In this lesson, we have learned about animal adaptations. There are three ways to describe animal adaptations: structural, behavioral, and physiological. How do adaptations help animals survive in their environments? An adaptation is a body part or behavior that helps an animal survive in a particular environment. Adaptations can help an animal breathe, catch food, or hide. All animals are adapted to live in certain habitats. Animals that cannot adapt will die out. Thank you for listening. See you next time. On our next topic is plant adaptation. God bless you.